Imagine you're at the Roman Colosseum. The roar of the crowd, the smell of sand and sweat. You've got the best seats in the house, front row. You feel the spray of sand as gladiators clash just feet away. An emperor's privilege, right? Wrong. In the next 10 minutes, I'll reveal why those front row seats were the most dangerous place in all of Rome, even more so than the arena floor itself. What you think you know about the Colosseum is about to be turned upside down. The year is 80 AD. The Colosseum, a marvel of engineering, has just opened. You are a wealthy Roman citizen, maybe even a senator, and you've secured a seat in the podium, the front row. You feel untouchable, separated from the chaos by a marble wall and a safety net. But that feeling of security is a complete illusion. The real danger isn't just what's happening in the arena, it's what could come out of it. The games begin, not with gladiators, but with the Venetians, the wild beast hunts. Hundreds of animals, starved and terrified, are released into the arena. Lions from Africa, bears from Germany, crocodiles from the Nile. The crowd loves the spectacle. But these animals are unpredictable. A 4-meter-high wall seems safe enough, but a desperate, powerful animal can do surprising things. And there were stories, whispers of beasts clearing the barrier. But the animals weren't the only threat flying through the air. During the breaks, the emperors would stage sparsa, elaborate giveaways. They'd catapult small wooden balls into the crowd, each marked with a prize. It could be a bag of grain, a flask of wine, or even the deed to a small apartment. Sounds great, right? A lottery from the sky. Except you're in the front row. Thousands of people behind you, desperate and poor, are scrambling, fighting, and pushing forward to catch these prizes. The crush of the crowd becomes a very real danger. People were trampled, suffocated, all for the chance at a prize that sailed right over their heads. You, in your expensive seat, are caught between the chaos in the arena and the human stampede behind you. Let's talk about that safety net. It was meant to protect the elite spectators from stray spears, or more importantly, from the beasts. It was often studded with sharp rollers made of ivory or polished stone, designed to prevent animals from getting a grip if they tried to climb. A clever design. But what if the animal didn't need to climb? What if it could simply leap? A full-grown leopard can jump over 3 meters high and 7 meters forward. The barrier was just over 4 meters. It's a close call, and not all animals were stopped. And there's something else, something few people consider. The heat. A summer day in Rome can be brutal. The Colosseum was an open-air oven. To combat this, the Romans had the velarium, a colossal retractable awning that covered most of the seating. It was a masterpiece of naval engineering, operated by hundreds of sailors. It provided shade, but it also trapped the heat, the dust, and the smell. The air in the front row would have been thick, stagnant, and filled with the stench of blood, sweat, and animal waste. Not exactly a pleasant day out. Breathing that air for hours on end was a health hazard in itself. But let's go back to the animals. The Romans didn't just have lions and bears. They imported rhinos, elephants, hippos. Imagine the sheer power of an enraged bull elephant. A 4-meter wall is a garden fence to a creature like that. Historical accounts are sparse on specifics, but the engineering of the Colosseum had to be constantly updated. Why? Because the dangers were constantly evolving. They learned from their mistakes. And every mistake meant a disaster for someone in those front seats. Here's a truly chilling detail. Underneath the arena floor was the hypogeum, a 2-story maze of tunnels and cages. This is where the animals and gladiators were kept. A series of elevators and trap doors allowed them to be lifted into the arena for a dramatic entrance. Now, imagine a mechanical failure. A cage is lifted, but the trap door doesn't open properly. You have a panicked, furious tiger stuck halfway between the dark underground and the bright arena, right at eye level with the front row. The only thing separating you is a few bars of a faulty lift. The terror in that moment is unimaginable. And what about the people next to you? The front row wasn't just for senators. It was for the emperor and his guests. This put you in direct proximity to the most powerful and often most unstable man in the world. If the emperor was having a bad day, you were the first to know. Emperor Caligula, for instance, was known for his cruelty. One story says he grew bored during a show's intermission. So he ordered his guards to seize an entire section of the crowd and throw them into the arena to be devoured by the beasts, simply for his own amusement. Guess which section was easiest to grab? The front row. Sitting there meant you were always one imperial whim away from becoming part of the show. Then there was the naval battles, the Naumachii. The Colosseum could be flooded to stage mock sea battles with real warships. It was an incredible spectacle, but it also meant turning the arena into a giant, sloshing pool. The front row would have been constantly splashed with murky, foul water, but the real danger was a breach. If the complex plumbing and drainage systems failed, that front section could have flooded in minutes. You're trapped between a wall and a rising tide of filthy water with nowhere to go. It wasn't a swimming pool, it was a death trap. Let's not forget the gladiators themselves. These were trained killers, desperate men fighting for their lives. While they were supposed to fight each other, accidents happened. A missed swing could send a mace flying into the crowd. A thrown trident could easily clear the barrier. That safety net might stop a spear, but what about the sheer, brutal impact of a heavy weapon? It could tear through the net, or the force alone could injure someone sitting just behind it. You're watching a live-action fight to the death, and there's no screen, no special effects. The danger is real, and it is inches away. Here's another morbid curiosity. After a gladiator was killed, a man dressed as Charon, the ferryman of the underworld, would enter the arena and strike the body with a mallet to ensure he was truly dead. Another man, dressed as the god Mercury, would test for life with a heated iron. This grim ritual happened right in front of the podium. The sights, the sounds, the smell of burnt flesh. It was an intimate and horrifying experience for those in the front row. You weren't just a spectator. You were a witness to the brutal finality of death, up close and personal. So, you have stampeding crowds, flying weapons, leaping beasts, unstable emperors, and the risk of drowning or being cooked alive. Suddenly, the arena floor seems like a safer option, doesn't it? At least there, you have a weapon and a chance to fight back. In the front row, you are just a sitting duck, a privileged target. The ultimate status symbol in Rome was also a ticket to the most perilous seat in the city. The illusion of safety was just that, an illusion carefully constructed to make the elite feel secure while placing them at the epicenter of the danger. The Colosseum was designed for spectacle, for shock and awe. And the greatest shock of all was reserved for those who thought they were safest. Every roar of the crowd, every clash of steel, was a reminder that the line between spectator and participant was terrifyingly thin. So the next time you see a movie about gladiators, and you see the emperor sitting comfortably in his box, remember the hidden truth. The real danger wasn't always in the sand. Sometimes, it was sitting right next to you. What do you think was the most terrifying part of sitting in the front row? The animals, the emperor, or the crowd? Let me know in the comments below. And if you found this journey back to ancient Rome as fascinating as I did, make sure to hit that like button, share this video with your friends, and subscribe for more hidden histories. Thanks for watching.